Can you imagine opening your door at 7:30 on a Saturday to an HOA president demanding DNA tests to prove your grandkids are really yours? That's exactly what happened to me, Evelyn Harper, when Cynthia Reynolds, the self-appointed queen of Willow Creek Estates, decided to turn my quiet retirement into a battlefield. Her shrill voice pierced through my front door like a siren, and I nearly spilled my coffee trying to figure out who was causing such a ruckus. I tightened my robe, shuffled over, and there she was, Cynthia, in her crisp blazer, clutching a folder like it was the key to world domination. Her blonde hair, sprayed into submission, didn't budge as she thrust a paper at me. "Evelyn Harper, this is an official violation notice," she barked, her tone dripping with smug authority. Apparently I'd been hosting unauthorized occupants for 3 weekends straight. Unauthorized? Those were my grandkids, Lucas and Sophie, who come over to keep their old grandma company. But Cynthia wasn't how-vying it. She stood there, arms crossed, chin up like she was judge and jury. Section 12, paragraph 4 of our bylaws states all residents must be board approved, she said, handing me the notice with a tremble that betrayed her excitement. I adjusted my glasses, scanning the paper. "Cynthia, these are my grandchildren. They sit on weekends." Her eyes narrowed. "We have no record of family members in our files. I'll need proof of relation and cider registration for anyone staying over 4 hours. 4 hours? I laughed, which only made her face turn redder. "Rules are rules, Evelyn," she snapped. "Without documentation, fines start Monday. Oh, and we'll need DNA confirmation to ensure they're not renters violating our single-family ordinance." DNA? Was she serious? As she strutted away, I called out, "You know, Cynthia, my grandson Lucas might have something to say about this." She waved me off without a glance. "Save it for the hearing, Evelyn." Big mistake. Lucas isn't just any grandson's Lucas Harper, the district attorney for our county, and he doesn't take kindly to his grandma being bullied. I shut the door, my hands shaking not from fear, but from pure anger. After 20 years in Willow Creek, after planting flowers for every community picnic and serving on the welcoming committee, this was my reward? All because Cynthia, who'd only been here 3 years, had clawed her way to HOA president 6 months ago and decided our peaceful neighborhood needed her iron fist. I bought this cozy 3-bedroom home when I retired from teaching 5th grade. It's nothing fancy, just a small garden for my zucchini and a sunroom for rainy day reading, but it's my sanctuary. Lucas, despite his bigshot DA job, swings by twice a month, and Sophie, my 17-year-old tech wizard, spends Friday nights teaching me how to use that darn smartphone. Those sits are my lifeline, the kind of joy that makes life worth living. And now Cynthia wanted to regulate my family like they were trespassers? Cynthia moved in like a storm cloud, attending every meeting, nitpicking every rule, and campaigning for president on a promise to protect property values. Translation: she wanted to play dictator. Spring brought her first wave of citations: grass too tall by a 1/4 inch, mailboxes not the right shade of teal, trash cans lingering past noon. Most of us grumbled but complied to avoid her wrath. I'd flown under her radar until now. But that Monday, a new notice appeared on my door detailing the unregistered occupant violation and demanding I fill out a form for family member citation PRIVY leges. It asked for names, birth dates, vehicle info, and a citation schedule for my grandkids. I called Lucas, trying to keep my voice steady. "She's treating my home like a prison." He was calm but firm. "Don't sign anything, Grandma. I'll check the bylaws. This sounds like she's way out of line." By Wednesday, another notice arrived, threatening DULA 50 daily fines. By Friday, a certified letter demanded I attend the next HOA meeting to address occupancy concerns. I went to the garden club that weekend, hoping for allies. Neighbors spilled their own horror stories. "She measured my tulips," said Clara from down the street. "Said they were 2 inches too tall." Tom, the retired pharmacist, chimed in. "She photographed my granddaughter's scooter on my driveway. Called it clutter." The room went quiet when I shared my DNA test demand. Then Agnes, our oldest resident, spoke up. Evelyn, she can't control who VY sits you. That's not in the bylaws. I nodded. She's making an example of me, and I'm not sure why. The following Tuesday, things went from bad to unhinged. I came home from the grocery store to find a document taped to my door. Final notice, requirement for biological verification of familial relation. Signed by Cynthia, it demanded DNA proof for anyone claiming to be family, citing community integrity, and threatening due law 500 fines and residential censure. My hands shook as I tore it down, humiliated as I caught my neighbor Ed staring from his porch. How many others had seen this nonsense? That night, I emailed everything to Lucas. His reply was instant. I'm coming tomorrow. Don't worry. True to his word, Lucas showed up Wednesday morning, not in his usual jeans but in a sharp gray suit, briefcase in hand, looking every bit the district attorney. Over coffee, he laid it out. This isn't just HOA nonsense. It's harassment, possibly discrimination, and maybe even fraud since she's inventing rules the bylaws don't support. He pulled out a cease and desist letter and mentioned reviewing the HOA's legal status. We're going to tonight's board meeting, he said. I felt a spark of hope, but also dread. Cynthia ran those meetings like a tyrant, seated at a long table with her board minions while residents sat on folding chairs, needing permission to speak. Lucas and I arrived early. Neighbors whispered as they recognized him. Lucas Harper, the youngest DA in county history, known for taking down corrupt officials. At 7 o'clock sharp, Cynthia marched in, tapped the mic, and declared the meeting open. First resident concern, Evelyn Harper, she said, smirking. I stood, but Lucas rose beside me, his voice cutting through the room. I'll speak for my grandmother. Cynthia froze. And you are? She asked, though her voice wavered. Lucas Harper, District Attorney for Westland County, he said, stepping forward. And Evelyn Harper's grandson, the one you've called an unauthorized occupant, and demanded DNA tests for. The room buzzed. Cynthia tried to recover. This is a private HOA matter. Lucas placed his letter on the table. It's a legal matter now. This cease and desist addresses your harassment, including DNA demands with no basis in law or bylaws. She brushed the letter aside. We're enforcing occupancy rules all homeowners agreed to. Lucas didn't flinch. I've read the bylaws. They don't allow you to regulate family VY sits, demand DNA, or fine for guests. Many of your rules were made without a homeowner vote, violating state law. Gasps filled the room. A board member whispered to Cynthia, who waved him off. Lucas pressed on. I've launched an investigation into discriminatory practices targeting elderly residents. Elder harassment is a serious matter. Cynthia's facade cracked. We're maintaining standards. Your grandmother's had unregistered VY siders every weekend. Lucas corrected her. You mean her family, who she's allowed to host without your permission. The board squirmed. One member, Greg, spoke up. I move we suspend all VY cider regulations pending re-VYEW. Another seconded. Cynthia looked betrayed. Lucas added, I've documented all harassing notices, which will be VY denke in the investigation. Misusing authority for personal vendettas has consequences. Cynthia stammered. I followed procedure. Lucas cut in. Procedure you made up. He turned to the room. My grandmother wants this to stop, all fines dropped, and an apology issued. Greg suggested a leadership change, and Cynthia snapped. How dare you! DNA tests protect property values. Lucas's voice was ice. That's not protection. That's criminal harassment. The meeting exploded. Neighbors shared their own stories of Cynthia's overreach. The board voted to suspend violations and place Cynthia on leave. As we left, she cornered Lucas, hissing, You're ruining this community. Property values will tank without my oversight. He stayed calm. What ruins a community is neighbors leave VYing in fear of your arbitrary rules. 2 weeks later, A special meeting sealed her fate. The board found Cynthia had issued 300 invalid notices in 6 months. She was removed, ordered to pay Dula $25,000 in restitution, and banned from HOA rolls for 5 years. When the vote came, she screamed, "This is a conspiracy! You'll regret this!" But as security led her out, her defiance crumbled. For the first time in months, Willow Creek felt like home again.